everybody, thank you so much for watching and for coming back to my channel. My name is Ashley if you've not been here before, and thank you if you're returning back. So basically, there is a big war going on with body butter business and bar soap business for me. So I was trying to do both of them at the same time, and it had gotten really, really overwhelming doing body butter um, and bar soaps. And I just found that I can't do both right now because they cost too much to do them both at the same time. And because I'm realizing that as I'm trying to grow my clientele, I need to focus on perfecting my recipe and my process of making both items, and I don't feel like I can do that trying to do both of them. So I wanted to focus mostly on bar soaps because they, to me, the recipes based off of the website that I use to calculate my ingredients and my oils percentages and the lye percentages, it helps me stay consistent every time with my bar soap. So basically, I want to break down the pros and the cons of body butter business and a bar soap business. And then I'll compare at the end and tell you guys why I chose to focus on bar soaps first as a business. And I still want to do body butters in the future, but I feel like I still need time, money, resources, and practice to perfect the consistency of my body butter um, cream, and then also the quantity and the consistency of the texture and the results of the body butter. But the bar soaps I feel are more consistent and have more pros than cons compared to a body butter business, in my opinion. So the pros for doing a bar soap business, in my opinion, are that you have a consistent recipe that you cannot mess up with, because if you use the soapcal.net website, it will let you break down the lye, water, and different oils that you use to make the bar soap recipe, and it gives you all the math that you need, and there's no room for error. And if you're using a digital scale, then you can be consistent with your grams and your ounces of the ingredients that you're using, measuring them out, and then basically it's just mixing the ingredients and then pouring them into a mold. And then after 24 hours, everyone does things differently, but for me, I do 24 hours letting it sit and solidify, and then I'll cut up my bars of soap. Usually, this is the type of mold that I use. Recently, I actually did individual creative molds that are Christmas themed, like Christmas trees and snowman and gingerbread man. And so I did individual molds. But that's a simple step that I can consistently do every time for a soap bar business. And I know that I'm going to get the same results every time. Another pro is that I get a consistent amount of bars of soap each time I do a certain recipe. So usually I do 1,000 grams of oil mixtures, and I keep it consistent like that. And I know that 1,000 grams of oils that I'm going to use in my recipe is going to give me most of the time 12 bars of soap. And so I know consistently that I'm gonna get that amount of bars out of that recipe amount of ingredients that I use. And so I always know what my basically how much revenue I'm going to get from that one batch of ingredients. And to me, that's a pro because I don't have to guesstimate, oh, once I get this batch, how many I'm going to get, and how many am I going to be able to sell, and how much money am I going to get from that. Like, it's easy math calculation for me, and it's consistent every time. So if I want to do 2 or 3 batches, I know I'm going to get between 24 and 36 bars of soap, and I can do the math, know how much my revenue is, and it's easy to calculate how much my revenue is and how much my expenses are and how much more inventory I need and what I will get out of that inventory. Now, yeah, you can do the same thing at at a certain extent with a body butter business, but when it comes to, in my opinion and experience that I've had, and I'm very much amateur level, still trying to learn and grow with a body butter, I feel like you really have to be experimenting over and over again about the type of ingredients, measurements that you use with your recipe, and playing with the math a lot on your own, because it's not really that I've seen a website for calculating body butter measurements and recipes and giving you an exact amount of you know um, ounces or exact amount of jars you'll be able to fill based off of that recipe. And so that's definitely a con that I saw on the body butter business side, because basically, I mean, in my opinion, I just feel like I don't want to have to keep guessing, oh, am I going to get 10 or 20 jars out of this recipe, And I did find out in my own experience that basically, when I would use the same amount of, let's say for shea butter, I use shea butter in both my bars of soap and my body butters. And so when I use the same amount of shea butter in my ingredients for my bars of soap for the same amount that I use for my body butters, I found that I will get 12 bars of soap on this side, and then on this side for body butter, mm, to be able to fill 4-ounce jars like this size, it would possibly give me 5 jars of 4 ounces this size for the same amount of shea butter I use for 12 bars of bar soap. Now, just in my opinion, just comparing that, I'm like, well, that's not very many bars of soap, only possibly 5 jars of 4-ounce body butter compared to 12 bars of soap, you know. And I'm still learning, so I don't want to put the prices so high on the body butter, but I don't want to also lose money. And so in my mind, I was just trying to think like, I have to do a whole lot more of inventory to be able to make the body butter to even get close to the amount of bars of soap I get with the same ingredients amount for bars of soap. So I hope I'm not confusing you guys. I'm trying to talk slow this time, and I'm trying to be very specific about what I'm saying about the pros and cons. Because even if I'm selling the bars of soap and the body butter for the same price, let's say $8 or $10, I'm not going to make much money off of the body butter compared to the bars of soap. Especially if I'm putting the same amount of money into inventory, and I can sell more bars of soap compared to body butter, and it would put more work on me and more cost of money for inventory just to keep up with the demand of body butter. And that just was not very compelling to me, because I don't want to stress about being sold out all the time, or trying to put so much money into the body butter business, and then um, it taking me a while to make that money where I could do it almost double with the bar soap company. The plus for the body butter business is the fact that I don't have to wait for the body butter to get ready once I make it. Once I've mixed up and whipped my oils to make them a creamy body butter like this, they're ready to sell immediately. Whereas a con for bars of soap is that the way I do it in my process with the currying process, it will take basically a month and a half for my batch to be ready to be sold. So I would have to continuously make overlapping schedules for my bars of soap. So I'm making them a couple weeks at a time, so that as I'm selling them, I don't sell out fast, and I have another batch going to be ready as soon as my previous batch sells out. So I have to continuously remember to stay on top of myself with the schedule of bar soaps, because since they take so many weeks to be able to be ready to sell, and I can't sell them immediately the way I do my process for making bars of soap, I have to make a whole lot more um, back to back so that I don't sell out quickly. So that's definitely a con for making bars of soap the way that I do it. Um, I would say a plus for a pro for bars of soap is definitely shipping, because shipping, it does not cost as much as doing body butter, and I can put them in a nice like smaller like bubbled envelope, and it doesn't cost that much on U.S. Postal Service, and it can travel far. And whether it's cold or hot outside, or cold or hot in the storage of the post office, that it will not melt, it will not impact the texture or the chemicals of the bars of soap. Whereas the con for body butter, you have to have thermal envelopes or thermal like sleeves inside of your boxes when you're packaging them, especially in the summertime, because body butter definitely will melt. And if it melts, especially if you have it to the top, then it will leak. So shipping body butter is not that simple or easy or convenient. And I would love to be able to grow my business to where I'm doing both bar soaps and body butters, and be able to ship, all 50 states and around the world. And I believe I'll get there one day, but I definitely need to have more money in inventory, and not just the ingredients to make body butter, but to also package it effectively so that it does not cause the customer any, discomfort or dis-ease or inconvenience because it's melted or it's leaking, or it's not the same texture that it was when I made it um, the day of. So that's definitely a big thing. I could probably think of more of pros and cons on both sides. I love both products. I use both products for myself. I make them for myself, and I want to be able to help other people with the same allergies and eczema situations that I have. It's just I don't want to overwhelm myself or rush myself or do anything that may harm anyone else by being, sloppy and rushing and just doing whatever, putting things together and not thinking them through. So I really have peace about just focusing on my bars of soaps business, and growing that and practicing and perfecting that. And then eventually I will get to my body butter business, or just my body butter collection in my same business. So I appreciate you guys' support and being with me in this conversation. I hope it helped you, made you think about some things that you may want to consider if you were ever thinking about doing body butter business or a bar soap business. Think about the actual steps and the pros and the cons and the things that can possibly come up, and that you need to prepare yourself for, because people make things look so easy on the internet, and so fabulous and so glamorous, and you make a whole lot of money and stuff like that. But when you're starting a business, the first year or two, you're not making any money or profit. You're putting all your money back into the business as you're getting it, to grow it, to perfect it, and to improve it. So just be patient with yourself. Don't allow other people as well that are feeling like they're putting urgency on you, that they need this as well and they want to share with other people. Oh, please make more, make more. That pressure can make you feel like, okay, well, what do I do? I need to do this for these people. And then you start making mistakes or making errors or losing money or stressing yourself out, and it's not necessary. So just slow down, see which one you want to put your time into if you're thinking about doing body butters. Or bars of soap, and just take your time. I think both are very profitable business. They're much needed businesses out there, especially natural ingredients and non-allergen ingredients are definitely needed in these types of products. But don't overwhelm yourself. Make sure that you are at the pace that you can handle, and that you are also doing things correctly, effectively, and that some in a place that will not cause you so much risk that you don't ever see rewards. So thank you again for joining me. I look forward to the next time I see you guys. Please subscribe to my channel, like this video, and please comment and let me know if you were thinking about doing, a bar soap business or a body butter business, and what, tips or experience that you have or advice that you have. I would love to hear it. I'm growing and learning still myself. I'm just sharing with you all the experiences that I've had, and I'd love to have a community to able to help each other with advice that we have. So thank you again. I'll see you guys later.